Sorry.
What about the end?
Much stress. I understand. I told him next time.
All right, good evening, everybody. I think we had a little bit of feedback here. Is that good? Everybody hear me? Welcome back to the Warschauer Tech training class. I think everybody in the room, we have a couple of new people here this evening, but most of you know who I am. I'm Gene Fay, the new Vice President of the Energy Solutions Division with Warschauer Electric. We've got Constante here, Constantine rather, here this evening. We're going to have the fourth class this evening, 4 of 10, so we're almost halfway through already. I know you're all pretty excited about that, but make sure that you're paying attention and studying along the way. I think we're going to have a quiz tonight, at least that's what was said at the last class. So I wanted to make sure that everyone understood the exit for the building. We're upstairs again. This is where we had the first class. We had the luxury of having the last 2 classes downstairs. But the exit is only one exit off to the side of the room here. Go down to the elevators and make sure you use the steps. I always like to go over safety factors for any presentations. We've got some visitors this evening. We've got Eaton here this evening. Cutler Hammer is showing off their DC switch. They're the only ones in the industry that have a DC approved switch. It'll be carried at Warschauer. Russ is showing it here this evening. He's off to the right here, but they'll come up to the front of the room during the breaks. We also have Cooper Kraus-Heinz here, I believe. RCR, is it? They're also here showing some of the combiner boxes and some of the strut and cable trays that they have. So also wanted to go over some announcements for Warschauer as well. We have signed the deal and have hired our inside specialist, Ryan Desjardins, who's coming in from Montana. He's going to be our inside design specialist. He's an engineer that worked for Sun Electro out in Montana for about 6 years, so he's going to bring quite a bit of experience to the team, and we're looking forward to having him join the team. So without any further ado, we'll get Constantine started here, and thank you very much.
Without further ado.
Do you hear me? No? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get started slowly. Hope you had a nice vacation up there. I'm sure you had nice food since you started today. Today's the 4th week we're continuing this solar program of ours that we're doing. We pretty much according to the plan based on the actually description of the outline that we put. Today we're going to cover a little bit more interesting things perhaps. Most of the stuff that you as electricians will find a little bit more practical, a little bit more appealing. Couple things. There's a lot in the market that's going on. One of the things is that if you watch the newspapers that pass around, there's some sort of legislation that's going around about budget cuts and things that they reflect the solar market. I pass these things around. It was in the newspapers. Of course, one of you or some of you over the period of time, you constantly were talking about advanced technologies and methods and improvements to the solar systems and so forth. Granted, this course is actually an introductory course on flat panels and the installation and the performance and to do a typical house installation or commercial installation. Obviously, there are different other technologies regarding concentrating panels and different other methodologies that you can do and utilization of solar thermal energy, and so forth. Okay, what happens, I'm going to pass a periodical around here that actually describes some of the methods of new, actually utilizing plastics and different forms of polymers that actually you can make solar panels with increased efficiency and so forth. Like I said before, there's a lot of universities working in different other processes that are actually will increase the efficiency of the modules. So I'll just pass this around from practical applications so that you get some idea what's going on. Skimming through it. If you don't care about it, just pass it to the guy next door. If you want to jot down some of the information, feel free to do so. Okay. Couple other things. I'm also going to pass back the study guide for the photovoltaic system installers. Some of you expressed that you wanted to see it. I think a couple of you came over. I don't know if you have copied down the actual website, you got a printout out of it, but this document is for free. You can download it, you can print it, and you can utilize it. It's an excellent document. Just the writing is very small, so you're going to need a pair of glasses like I do. So you can see how thick it is, and actually has some of the questions in the back, which we're going to cover by the end of the course. Couple other things. That's pretty much I have with respect to the news, unless you have some requirements. As we go through, I'm going to start attaching a lot of the discussions that I have on the presentation to the National Electrical Code. So you have, if you like, you should start bringing your code book with you if you want to refer to some of the articles, some of the applications, the code book or the handbook. You can do both. What I have done actually from my point of view, I just Xerox some of the pages of the handbook, and as I go through it, I study and I look it through. So it would be beneficial for you. If you don't want to, it doesn't matter. I will refer to the articles up here, and then you don't have to worry about it. That's a choice you have to do. Any questions to the stuff that we can cover so far? Any stuff that you? Okay. You like that sun up here? A couple of the things that we're going to talk today, some of the topics that we're going to talk today is going to deal with I was hoping that I would have a module in here today to show you, so I can show it out, do some measurements and so forth. Unfortunately, we don't have, but we'll deal it with the presentation itself. I'll show you an actually application that I did today with the actually electronic solar pathfinder to show you shading and so forth. Something that I did, I'll show it to you, and you see how easy it is to take that particular instrument. Or when I showed you last time, I passed the instrument around for the second time, so you can see that if you use that instrument, you really can do a lot of the solar measurements really in a very, very fast way without having to go through any kind of a headache. Then we're going to talk about panels. We're going to talk about a solar panel, and we're going to talk a lot about the actually information that it is up there, some of the characteristics associating to that, and what is some of the information that relates to that means to you people, because it's important when you design a system that you understand these kinds of information you see, and some of the actually curves that are associated with that. It's very important. You learn that one time. You learn that one time, and that's about it for the rest of your life. Okay? If we can get that. Any questions so far? Any of you have done any reading? Any of you have not done any reading? Okay? All right. The book, when you read through the book in this particular thing, it gives you a description of a solar modules, and it goes through actually a description of about the manufacturing process and so forth. I'll skim through that quite a bit so we can go into more of a practical sense. Okay? For some of you who are here for the first time, again, what is solar